Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Agile Games Twin Cities. I'm happy to share with you Scrumchkin today. So fair warning for everyone that's here. I have seen this game played once. I have never actually played it myself. And so we're going to learn about it together. But this is a game, I'm going to share my screen here. This is a game that I learned about at the Scrum gathering in Austin in would have been 2019. And Mario Melo is the individual who created this. He had the game with him there, and we were playing it in one of the rooms. I think I skipped a session or two in order to watch people playing this game. I thought it was really interesting. I ended up buying a physical copy of it, so I've got that in my little box here that comes with all the little handy cards and all that kind of stuff. So they're so it's pretty nice. So what I'm saying is I didn't create this, and I'm not an expert in it. So thanks for bearing with me on it. The website for it is here. It's scrumchkin.com. You can read more about it. You can watch a little YouTube video that'll teach you how to use it. There's also a how to play instructions. Ignore my bell in the background. And then there's an online version, and that's what I'm going to show you, is that here on playingcards.io, we have the ability to kind of play together online. So that's what we're going to use. I'm going to drop this link in the chat, and then we can kind of struggle through this together and figure out how to play together. Looks like we can definitely get 5 people playing, and hopefully a couple more beyond that. It says 6, 7, and 8 here, and it says disconnected, but I'm not sure what that quite means. Oh, there we go. I can free those up.
I went through my company site and they've decided to block this one. Looks like a game to them.
Well, it is, so that makes sense. Toma, you're welcome to follow along on the screen share. Awesome. I see one player in and sitting down in the player 4 spot, and looks like they've maybe changed their role to Scrum Master, which is great.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, that's me.
Yep, I think if you click that like name to the right, like it'll let you choose which role you want to play. So we've got developers, we've got Scrum Master, product owner, and stakeholder. Cool. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. I'll give you another minute and see if somebody else wants to.
I'm trying.
Join.
I get something wrong here.
Looks like Marissa edited her name. If the others that are in want to edit your name too, that would be helpful, so we know who's who.
Looks like since I'm on phone, it is not working well for me.
Okay.
I just will leave the game, I guess.
Are you able to see? If you're able to see Chris's screen, you could be like Tomo and see how it works.
The screen.
Okay.
I submitted this to be unblocked as a safe site, and it says, your request will not be completed at this time. Please try again later. The whole day.
Well, thanks for asking, but
How do you pop
all right,
a player down?
I'd say that again.
How do you pop a player down? Stuck at that.
Yeah, how do you sit in a seat?
Yes.
If over on the right hand side it says player 1, player 2, player 3. Under the open seats, there's a sit here button, and if you click there,
I think I'm spectating.
Okay.
Or something. How do I wonder if I can.
I would say close your browser window and click into the link again, and then.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Join instead of spectating. You can join as a player. All right. Well, while we're finishing getting settled there, I'm gonna read a little bit out of the instructions as we're going. So it says the game begins with an already existing product backlog. Actually, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna take spot 8, and I'm gonna play our product owner, if that's all right with all of you. And for the product owner, I turn over 5 of the feature cards, which are these pink cards here. And so I'm going to flip a card here, and then I'm going to move it over into our product backlog. So we've got, let's see what we've got here. We've got this one that's called Lovelace, which is smartphone responsive activity. We've got one that's called Richie, which is help desk gamification. We've got Lovelace bar charts. We've got touring Gantt chart. Exciting. And we've got Lovelace Zap integration. All right. And then, so now this line up here in the product backlog, this is in priority order from left to right. And so my instructions are basically just to flip those over and get those up here. So this is our pretty standard product backlog. We've got 5 items in it right now, and they're in priority order based on how I want to build them as the product owner. So now I'm going to ask one of you, anybody who has a developer role, if you can turn 3 of the size cards over, which are the blue cards on the left, and then you put them right next to the first 3 features in the product backlog. So basically, we're going to assume that we're doing some backlog refinement, and we are assigning sizes to these first 3 stories. So can someone flip one of the blue cards? You click it once to flip it, and then you can click and drag it to move it wherever you want it to go. So you can put this one next to that first pink card under high priority here.
So is that a 1 on the bottom? So is that like 1 point, or what is, do you know?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Looks like our next one was a 3. Here, I'll move that one over. And then does somebody want to flip the last one? I'm going to overlap these just a little bit so we can see, make it so that you can see the number, but you can also know which one it goes with. So then this number 5 here goes with this 3rd card over here. Okay, so we've got a 1, a 3, and a 5 here in our backlog. Then the last thing that I'm going to do is we're going to assign some business value to each of these. So we'll figure out, so we have the feature, but we don't know how important it is. So I'm going to flip over a business value card. Looks like this first one's going to give us $10 worth of value. See if I can stick it over here in a way that you can see everything. That's close enough. Ooh, that one's got $100 value. That sounds like more. Okay, so we've got a couple cards that have, they're prioritized, we have business value, we have sizes. So let's move into sprint planning. And again, I'm reading the instructions along as I go. If you want to look at those, let me get you a link to the basic rules. And I'll drop that in the chat here as well. So this is a PDF of the instructions. This is what comes with the card deck game when you order it. I've got it kind of up on my screen, and I'm just following through the how to play instructions. So it tells me that what's up next is sprint planning. The team must commit to a number of features that will be developed during a 5-day sprint. Anything from 1 to all features goes as long as they respect the current prioritization. Overcommitting might affect the feedback received during the sprint review. The number of feedback cards the product owner receives at the end of the sprint is given by the following formula. It's the number, it's delivered features minus the number of unfinished features. So
just to be nitpicky, I don't think the word commit is appropriately used there in Scrum.
That's a great call out. Yeah, it's our sprint goal, right? Not our commitment.
Although the sprint goal is a really important part of Scrum. It's mentioned in the 19-page guide 17 times. There's no sprint goal here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know this game's a couple years old. I'm wondering if it's...
So it's in the FAQ. It says, I can't see the sprint goal being represented in this game. Why? I think the rules would be way too complex if I tried to fit more concepts in the game. So let's say that the sprint goal wasn't in my sprint goal while I was designing the game.
There you go. Love it.
You've left out the most important part of Scrum.
So let's talk sprint planning here. You've got a 5-day sprint. I realize we have zero context as to like how much what our velocity is or anything like that, but that's pretty typical of a new team starting out. So, but what does this team want to commit to for our 5-day sprint? You can take anywhere from that first story alone to all 5 stories that are in that product backlog.
Let's do 3.
Take 3 of them.
First 3, yeah.
I'm good with that.
So we can work through it a couple times or a few times, I should say, and then.
That works.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna try to move these down in a way that lets you be able to see kind of everything that's going on. For this one, we're kind of guessing at the business value still, which is totally fine. Okay, so we have a commitment of 3. Okay, so now we're getting into our, a goal of 3, not a commitment. So let's talk about how sprint days actually work. So on each day, for your turn, each player can execute 2 actions during a sprint day. The actions depend on your role. So if you're a developer, you have different actions you can take versus the Scrum Master versus me as the product owner. And I will get to those here in a second. One of the things you might do is draw a work card, and sometimes that has a specific icon on it. And so we can kind of take a look at all that. So let's talk about the actions. I'm going to talk about the dev team first. One action you can take is to estimate a feature. That's drawing a size card and adding it to any of the adding it to the first product backlog item, priority wise. So this touring Gantt chart is our highest priority one. That's not in the sprint, and so you can flip the size card and put it next to that card to figure out how much work it would take. You can draw a work card, which, if I remember correctly, applies some amount of effort towards the items that are being worked on, and you draw that into your hand, and then you can play a work card, which is taking a card out of your hand and putting it onto the board to apply some work. Any questions about any of those 3 for the dev team? All right, Scrum Master, looks like that's Ed. Ed, you've got 4 options for you. Your options are: you can draw a work card from the deck into your hand. You can donate a work card, which is giving your work card to someone else, presumably a developer, or you can transfer a work card from one player to another player. You can also remove an impediment. So if an impediment comes up, you can use an action to remove that. Questions about any of those from your end?
No.
Cool. Product owner, that's me. I can discover a new feature, which is flip over the next feature card and add it to the end of the backlog. I can research business value, which is flip over one of the yellow cards and add that to the highest priority item in the backlog. I can gather feedback. I can reprioritize the backlog, meaning shift things around, or I can add a feature to the sprint backlog, take something off the product backlog and put it onto the sprint backlog. And I feel pretty good about those. Anybody have any questions about any of those actions? Okay, well, let's go in maybe player order here from player 1 down, and we'll see where we want to go from there. Does anyone want, who's someone sitting in our player 1 spot right now?
If everybody can move their mouse around, maybe we could figure out who is number 1. I do not see anybody controlling 1.
Okay, why don't we move on to, I see Maha at number 3. It says disconnected under your name. Are you able to get in the game here?
Well, there I saw 1 for just a second. That was weird.
Maybe I need to log back in, Chris. Hold on. This
There's
is Maha.
1 up at the top right there. Player 1 is clicking on player 1.
Oh, probably trying to edit the name.
I can't see my number 5 moving around.
Yeah, you can't see
there
your
we go.
number, but if you're hovering over, if only the person who is player 1 would hover over player 1,
So I'm
There.
able
Yeah.
to,
Here.
yeah, that's me then.
Okay,
Awesome. I'm gonna,
Maybe I
perfect.
did it.
there we
Maha,
go.
you're a developer. We've got 3 possible actions for you. One is to estimate a feature, which is flipping over one of those size cards and adding that to the first card in the product backlog. The second is to draw a work card, which is one of the green cards into your hands. And the last is to play a work card out of your hand, which you don't have any cards in your hand at the moment.
So I'm going to use the size card.
Cool.
3.
3. I'm going to move that one up here next to that Turing Gantt chart feature.
You get to decide which one it is?
No, you always apply the card to like the first one in the list that
Oh.
that doesn't have anything on it.
That makes sense.
And then you've got another action you can take.
Okay, I'm going to use the work card.
Cool.
Ooh.
Then I think you get to add that card to your hand.
Okay, so where does it go?
Yeah, where's the hand?
At the
I'm
bottom
seeing
there?
like,
Over there.
Yeah, I see there's like a splay of cards a little bit that have a 0. I think you should be able to like drop that.
Okay.
Oh no, I think your hand might be the cards down in the bottom. That white box at the bottom.
So I
Yep.
did it there.
Yeah, when you drag that there, then it incremented your number 1. All right, Maha's day is done. Marissa.
Okay.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Lisa.
No, I'm confused. I'm like, where did the card go? Is it?
She's got a little
Downward.
1.
If you
I
look,
can
Further 1.
Yeah.
yeah, if
in
you look
my-
at the bottom,
Yeah.
what I'm reading in that white box is it says click cards to flip, drag
Yeah.
cards to move. Cards placed here are only visible to you. So Maha moved that card that was drawn into her hand, and so like
Okay.
she's holding it in front
Okay.
of her, so that's why we're not seeing it.
Okay.
So on to me.
Yep.
All right. So I also feel like doing some work today. Ooh, 3 coffees. All right. So bring that down here. And then I'm sorry, Chris, the instructions, if I grab business value, it would go to this one.
You can click also on your card and do some work, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can I do
Yeah,
that?
you've
can
got
play a work card.
3 options.
Yeah. I'll be management here. Do some
Oh.
work.
Gee. All right. So would that be my second action if I applied it?
Yes. Yep. Your 3 possible actions as a developer are to estimate a feature, draw a work card, or play a work card.
You
Oh,
could finish off that middle one.
so I could play it. So how do I play it?
So
on
I would
it.
say, yeah, I would say you can just like drag it to the middle of the playing field, and then we figure out how we're going to apply that. So you can't apply work to more than one backlog item. So you could apply that 3 to our top priority in the backlog, or you could apply it to that second priority,
$100 one,
apply it
yeah.
to the third one.
Oh,
So then I'm gonna move all these cards here and say these are all cards that we did effort on those, and then we are done with those. So I'm gonna actually just stack them all up here.
okay.
These 2 kind of cancel each other out.
This is Maha, quick question.
Hmm.
Is the work is related to capacity of the developer? Then
A little bit. It's a little variable, right? So like your capacity as a developer is based on how many points you have on the cards in your hand. So like Maha, on your turn, you did some estimating, but you didn't do any work that helped get anything in the sprint done. So, but you've got that card with a 1 on it now that you could use on the next day and apply that towards work, and all that's pretty realistic too, right? Like there are definitely days of where I've seen a developer not write any code that's helping towards the sprint goal, but is doing other work to get ready for that. In your case, getting ready is like drawing a card or doing estimating for a future sprint or something.
sure. Thank you.
The idea of drawing cards feels natural, but having to clump them all together feels weird. You'd think they'd almost combine once you drop them on top of each other. form Voltron or something. Here's something with work and value and
All right, Lisa, you want to take your turn?
Sure. Excuse me. So I'm just looking to see what I can do. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great.
Work,
Made a
work.
feature, draw, work hard, play, work hard. So we've done estimate a feature. We've done draw. Let's do another draw because I'm kind of confused by that. So I go over, do I bring it to doing?
This card you can drop it into that very bottom.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yep.
So basically,
There we
you've
go.
drawn that a card into your hand now, and so you have
Okay.
access to that card. And so you can either choose to play that card, or you can draw a second card, or you can estimate a feature.
So if I draw a second card, then the next person up, do they get to use my cards?
No, only you have access to your cards. So if
Okay.
you draw
So
a
it's not
second,
teamwork in that.
yeah, it's you've got your own effort level.
Okay.
Now, the Scrum Master though does have the ability to transfer a card as his action. So if you had like a really juicy one that you wanted somebody to have sooner, you could say like, hey, I can give this 5 to someone, or something like that.
Okay.
So Ed, you can see everyone's hands.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think
Sorry.
it's yeah, it's he.
In
It's
true form,
possible.
we have to collaborate.
Well,
I like it.
Who's got some capacity?
I was just trying to figure
So-
out. I was like, how does Ed know what's called?
So I would say just because your cards are in your hand doesn't mean that they have to be secret. Like we can be transparent about it, right? So we may not be able to show our hands to everyone, but we can talk about it and we can say what our capacity is.
Okay. All right, so I drew one work card and now I'm gonna estimate a feature because have we done that?
Yeah, we estimated.
We did. Oh, that was at the beginning?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, so
Yeah.
I can only do, well, okay. I'll just do that anyways. Okay,
And
so,
they're
Not
like
yeah,
kind of
not
two
that
things. We
one.
have the business value, but only the product owner can estimate business value, like on that item at the bottom of the thing. So it's really either do work.
So Lisa, if you want to estimate, that's one of the blue cards.
put that back up. Okay,
So you can click on that a blue card. And
Okay.
you can the blue cards don't need to go in your hand. Those can stay out for everyone to see.
in sprint backlog or doing?
It's actually going to end up in the top in the
Up
product
top,
backlog
okay.
next to that pink
There we
one.
go.
And then we'll click
Okay,
it, and that one's a
okay.
5. So it looks like this pink feature up at the top is going to be a 5 effort when we get to that one.
Okay.
All right, then I think that's Lisa's turn. Ed?
Okay, so mine are draw a work card, donate a work card, transfer a work card, remove an impediment. I don't see any impediments, so that's a thing.
I have a work card.
Right. So if we wanted to realize or transfer work to another person to give them more oomph, we could do that. If I remember, Maha has a work card of 1, so that kind of impedes that ability.
Yeah. I should point out, if anybody does ever draw a card that has like a triangle with an exclamation mark on it, like that card needs to be played on the table for everyone to see. That's the impediment that Ed's talking about. So,
Oh, okay.
So
Good
if
to
you
know.
draw, it'll be on a work card. So like some of the work cards have an impediment on them instead of
The
extra.
copy.
Yeah.
So I can draw work cards, but I can't do work.
Right. So you can
So,
draw
but I could donate.
and donate. Yep.
Interesting. Okay. So
If I think about that from a practical standpoint, like what does that mean in like Scrum? Like the Scrum Master is not doing work, but by you drawing a work card and donating that to someone, that saves that developer the action of having to draw a work card themselves to have that in their hand. And so like could allow them to play 2 work cards, but in a normal turn, they'd only be able to draw 1 and play 1.
Right. So
Uh,
I think my thing here is to do a work card. So I'm gonna draw a sick day. Cool. As
You
a
have to play it.
oh,
what
is
does
it?
it say about the sick day?
Oh, it is.
no. Oh, shoot.
You can't play any actions this. Oh, so the Scrum Master is sick.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I resolved impediments, so I'm done. I'm out today. See y'all later.
So it says you
Well,
can't
soon.
play any actions. I think that actually works out pretty well in that you can't yeah. Well,
Can't
I don't know that it
transfer
works
any
out.
points.
Yeah. Yep. So
Do
maybe
I still get to do it? I mean, it says I can't play any action, so I mean that's it,
how do
right?
how do we want to interpret those rules? So I'm not sure this one is super clear for us on how that plays out. So how do we want to interpret the sick day? What feels like it fits in the spirit of the game the best?
I mean, if it's the first, I'm thinking of like standard Munchkin, like this is a curse. So if you
Yeah.
kick down the door and you get cursed, that's it. End turn.
Okay. Okay. So we'll say your turn's over. Does that have any lasting effects then for like your next turn in the sprint?
I don't think so. It says just, well, how long does the sprint go?
It's 5 days.
Oh,
It's just one day.
oh,
yeah.
snap.
Day. It's just one day. And there's
Man.
5 days in the sprint.
Yep.
You miss one. Does it say what he
Oh, but it says
implemented
you can't
in?
play any actions this sprint. So it's like that's
Right.
low. Like it's more like 5 sick days.
Right.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
That's a
two.
tough one.
Yeah, I wonder then, so does that mean that you can't perform any actions or you can't like play anything out of your hand?
Yes, it just says play. Doesn't say anything about collecting.
Okay.
Do you say what he implemented this game in?
How this game was built, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So playingcards.io is just a platform that lets you play a number of different card games, and then you can
Got it.
upload your own artwork and that kind of thing. So he first created this as a physical game, and then somebody spent hours creating this play space for it to make it electronic.
With the cards, playingcards.io engine.
Yeah, I would. Here's how I would lean towards this is like you miss the rest of your turn and you miss your next turn, but that's it. Like a 5-day penalty seems pretty massive for this.
Right.
And so how about like you left early one day and then you stayed home the next day?
Right.
Like, does that seem like it's a fair, reasonable interpretation?
Sure.
That,
Yeah.
Doesn't enforce something.
Yeah. 5 days seems like
yeah.
really punitive.
In the word or in the guide, it says, please feel free to bend the rules
Yeah.
whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that in the spirit of it, yeah, let's just
Yep.
kills the
Cool.
rest of my turn and the next turn.
Cool. All right. I'm going to it looks like it's my turn. So I am going to look at discovering some business value. So I'm going to flip a business value card. It looks like 10. So that one gets applied here. So we know what we're in for there. And then I'm going to use my second turn to assign some more business value up here. Looks like we got another 10.
What does the rolls card do?
A great question. I think these, actually, we can throw that there.
Feedback, they said, comes at the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you,
To take that developer card, you can put that into your hand, and then you've got your roles a little more handy.
I
than
see.
otherwise. Or maybe that's how you would like kind of randomly assign who's doing what. But if anybody wants to use those cards for your handy,
I see.
Yep. Like here's
That's cool.
here's what you can do.
Oh,
Okay, I am done with my turn, and then I'm going to increment our sprint day. So then we're on to day 2, and we're back to Maha.
So I'm going to move my work card to next to the size 1.
Great. So we've got that one in progress, and looks like that one's now done based on that also. So we can put those over here. Let's throw that here. I'm going to discard this sick card. Actually, I'm going to discard these work cards and everything too.
Would another option have been for Maha to potentially, with 2 actions, grab a work card and then have 2 work cards in her hand and then put those 2 together and apply them to an item, a backlog item?
I think you can play a single work card. So
You can only do one at a time. Okay.
yeah. So one action there might have been to draw a card first and then have 2 options of which card to play. And so like, especially if it was, you know, it was a 1-point story and it was 1 point of effort. So that worked out really well. But if it was like a 1-point story and she had a work card with a 3 in it, then maybe that would have been like too much effort. And so draw another card and see if you get a 1 so that you're not kind of wasting all that extra effort.
Gotcha.
Just give you some more options.
The Scrum bond fanatic. I'm not very wild about this board. Pretty 3 columns, not much.
Keep it simple.
Maha, you've got one more action.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take some work. Oh,
All right, what do we got there? A bug. Something went wrong with the size of 5. The bug, I believe, I think if I click here, it'll tell me a little bit about it. It says when a bug comes into play, it's critical. The dev team cannot work on other tasks when a bug is in. Hold on, I lost it for a second.
So it goes to the top of the backlog basically, or directly to the top of doing. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Yep.
We cannot work on other tasks while the bug is on the table.
You
Yeah,
put
I
a
would-
to do, but it's a doing.
Yeah.
We must
yeah.
spend 5 work points to eliminate the bug. Unless they have some automated test on play.
That would not be us.
Yep. All right, so I think we've then got that. I think that wraps up Maha's turn. So Marissa, I think we're on to you.
So I have to grab work, which I got a 2, which isn't enough for that bug. So should I just grab
So you
another
can
one?
apply it.
You can
Oh, I
play
can
it.
apply it.
Yeah, you can apply 2
Okay.
points of effort towards that bug. Now we need 3
Okay.
more points in order to assign that.
So that would be it for me then. I grabbed work card and I played it.
Yep. And then
Okay.
Lisa, you're up.
Okay, my turn.
Well,
So
Lisa,
I'm gonna grab a work card. Oh, I got an automated test. Okay, so now just come over here.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
wait,
Test-driven development. Create a
so
test
now
around that bug.
conundrum. Do we
Yeah,
take
I
the
think-
2-pointer
Reduced
off?
by
then?
1. It
Yep.
reduces 1.
Yeah, I think that automated test essentially stays in play forever. And so now if we got another bug, it would the cost to reduce it is always lower by 1. So since that's in place, how I'm reading that is now we need 4 points total, 4 work points to eliminate the bug that's there.
Okay.
And so we've already
Okay.
applied 2, so we just need 2 more instead of
Okay.
5. Instead of
So
5 total.
am I done or do I have one more thing to do?
Drawing the card was 1, playing the automated test was 1. So if
Okay.
you want to save the automated test and you have a different card that you want to play, you can do
No.
that too.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I just have a 1 card that I would play and it doesn't
Got it.
make sense, I think, so,
Okay.
Yeah, technically it would have been the same thing either way.
yeah.
but this one has like
Just
never
do
ending
the
last
Right,
value.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes teams don't get to make that decision. It's made
Right.
for them.
Right.
Yep. Ed, we're skipping your turn as you're
Yep.
starting to feel better, but not quite back in the office yet. I am going to I'm going to add a new feature to our sprint backlog. I'm going to discover business value here first. 20. Okay. It's good to know. And then I am going to add to our backlog. I'm going to move this next feature into our sprint backlog because it feels like we're going to get through what we've got there.
I suppose you can't discover business value on a bug.
That's correct. There is 0 business value to the bug. It's just kind of a thing that's in our way until
Then why are we working on it?
Yeah, I think the implication is that we would have lost, like, there is currently negative business value that's happening to us, and
Right.
we're just trying to get back to 0.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna increment our sprint day then, and we're on to day 3.
Okay.
Maha, you're up.
Okay, so what are my options now? Grab work.
Mhm.
Uh,
You estimate a feature. Looks like all
Mhm.
of our features right now are estimated.
Yeah.
You can draw a
Grab-
work card, or you can
Okay.
play a work card.
Okay,
I
got
would recommend drawing and then playing.
I got
Whichever one's
card
good.
1.
Yep.
Apply towards the automated test.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, you can apply it
the
towards
bug.
that bug.
Yep. Says
Perfect.
Okay.
So we got 3 points. We just need 1 more for that bug to get clear. So Maha's good. This is up.
So me. Oh, I got another. Oh, did I? There we go. Look at that. We got another automated test.
Cool. So we have 2 automated tests in place. That means that bug is done. So we can discard these. I'm going to
Do we
discard
add
that.
it? So I'm confused. Is the drawing one action and then playing is another?
Yes.
Yeah.
Drawing
But we
a card in hand.
automatically play the automated test, right?
So Marissa drew the automated test into her hand
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
played the automated test out of her hand as her second
Yeah.
action.
I
Yeah.
could have taken it and just put it in my hand and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to draw another work
Yeah.
card," but I want to get rid of that bug.
And then Maha, though, when she drew it and played it. So
Yeah,
that's
she-
right.
She drew the 1-point card into her hand and then played it
Okay.
out of her hand. onto
Okay.
the table.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So Marissa's good. Lisa, you're up.
I'm going to draw. I got one. So, are we working on anything right now?
Whoa,
Or-
we should.
There's
Right?
nothing in progress right now. We've
The
got
So then-
bottom one's less work. Let's get that one done. Let's bring the bottom one into
The-
doing and
The
So,
Gantt chart.
yeah. So then so I drew a card. So then do I put that in my
Mhm.
bucket
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever?
correct.
And then would moving these to doing be another? No. Okay.
Moving to
one's free.
yeah, starting work on something's a free action.
Okay. So basically all I can do is draw cards right now?
You can
Or,
draw you can draw a
See,
card, or you could apply that one to one of the
Yeah.
items in our backlog.
oh, we can
then
apply
we-
it to the backlog.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be, okay.
We should move it into doing, right? We should just slide it into doing and then
So which one do you want to work on then, Lisa?
Doesn't matter.
3-pointer. It's easier to
Yeah.
complete.
So
Right.
I hear
We only have a
Tomo
couple
saying
days left.
both of these have the same business
Oh,
value,
yep,
and,
go with the
and
3
this
pointer.
one's smaller. So let's do the one that's less work for the same amount of benefit.
In hopes of completing the sprint, which is
Yeah.
looking kind of unlikely.
So then if you want to apply your 1-pointer, Lisa, to that one, we need 2 more points to finish up that one. And then I think
Alright.
Lisa's good and Ed's back, feeling much
Yes,
better.
I am. Yes, thanks, everybody. All right, so I think my choices are that I'm going to, somehow I'm only seeing product owner. It's kind of weird. Oh, that's why. I'm viewing the screen. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Draw a card. Work card, donate, or card transfer. There are no impediments in progress right now, so I think I can just draw a work card. So I'm going to do that. Oh, how is it that
Ed.
Scrum Master finds all the impediments?
Scrum Masters are just trouble.
Well,
They just
that
mess
was
up
your
our
first
brain.
action.
How many?
In so I discovered it. Oh, there's an impediment, and luckily I can remove an impediment. The Scrum Master is around, so it's done.
That,
So effectively,
that
I
really-
just
I'm
kind
a
of
little
lost my train.
suspicious of that. It feels like you're like coming up with problems just to solve them. To make, like, you're actually doing something.
Just to look
Job
busy or
security, is that what
something?
you're doing, Ed?
Hey, I was really observant on the backlog. I was seeing some work in progress and realized that, oh, and that's a problem. Don't worry, I'll jump on it real quick. I'll go talk to the other team and eliminate that dependency. I got it.
That's like actually there's probably no better way that impediment could have come up, because if anybody else brings it up, it's not like it. No one's applying any other work to the board until it's Ed's turn again. So I think that worked out actually really, really well.
We could just say it was at the daily scrum that we were talking about it, and like the impediment came up.
Yep. Perfect. I'm gonna for my first action, I'm gonna discover a new feature. This one's called Maple Maps, and then
Skip.
It says skip
Oh.
though.
Oh, it's just
that's the name of the
Project.
product. Is so the
Oh.
product name is at the top. So this is Lovelace. This is Turing. This is Richie. This
well,
is also part of the Lovelace project. This is part of the Skip project, whatever
it's
that
not
means.
confusing.
Yep.
The engine isn't enforcing any of the rules. All the rules are just manually done.
Yes. Yep. For my second action, I'm gonna figure out what the business value is of this. Looks like that one's a $10 story.
Okay.
And I think I'm done. So I think we're then on to a day 4 and back to Maha.
So I see we have to do 5-pointer. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we've
draw.
also got a 3-pointer that's in progress.
Yeah, finish what's in progress.
Yep. Good
Um,
thinking there. So do I click on the card to done or pick the work
Pick-
card?
Yeah, you can click on the work card as your first action, and that'll draw that card into your hand.
Okay.
And then
so I'm
if you'd
clicking
like,
that.
and then your options here are to play it. You could apply that 1 point towards that work, or you could draw a second card and not do any work
I'm
today.
going to be a good team player, so I apply
Mhm.
it to the doing.
Good.
Cool. Marissa.
all right.
Oh,
In the world? Okay, continuous integration. Tech debt.
Cost
We don't
of-
have any tech debt yet, right?
That's correct.
So, question is, I guess, should I put it in my deck and draw another work card that I wouldn't be able to play? Or do I just put this out here just in case?
It's up to you. We have, we're on day 4 of the sprint. It goes 5 days. So you'll have, so if you draw anything in, if you save this in your hand, if you draw anything into your hand, you'll have 1 more day this sprint to
Yeah.
play.
Yep, I hold it in your hand because
Okay.
we could use the work. We're
Okay,
not
so
gonna
I'm,
take it.
so I'm gonna draw another work card and put it in my hand.
Huh.
cool.
Okay. All right, well,
Shuffle
Lisa,
this deck.
I cleared the deck for you, Lisa, so
Okay.
Right.
go get it.
Yeah, you're
All
just,
right, here we. Oh,
so what I saw there,
Okay.
Marissa, is you're just using your like learning time to basically implement some improvements for us that we won't realize
Yeah.
until a future sprint.
Exactly. I'm just,
So now you've got 2 points and you've only got a 3-pointer. Sounds like
but I have a
you-
1 point in my hand.
Oh, there you go.
So
oh,
if I
Yeah,
take the 2
yeah.
point down, right,
Yeah, good.
and put my 1 point up, I can do that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
right.
Perfect.
There we
I'm going
go.
to discard all those work cards and our size card, and we'll move that one over to done.
Great.
Not sure these really matter how they're stacked up here. So, all right. I think that was Lisa's turn. Ed, I think you're up.
All right. Let's see here. There are no impediments, so I can donate a work card, transfer, and I don't have any work cards. I could transfer a work card. I assume that that means that I could, do I have to have ownership of that work card, or can I transfer it from one person to another?
I read that as like you could take a card out of Marissa's hand and put it into Maha's hand.
Okay, that's
I
how
would-
I was thinking about it. But,
Yeah. I would probably institute a rule that like both parties need to be okay with that also.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because we need skill sets. Like, you can't just assign DBA work to someone who
Mhm.
doesn't understand.
Isn't-
Anyways, okay.
Isn't that kind of how you play the dispatcher role, Chris, in Pandemic? Is it the
that's how
dispatcher
I think
role?
about it. Yeah, that's how I think about it. Yeah,
Okay.
and like when we play Pandemic and then do the debrief, I frequently talk about that dispatcher being like the scrum master, putting people in the best position possible to be successful.
All right, so I just drew a 2. Who has no work?
Maha has no cards.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm
I
gonna
don't.
just, I don't know how, I think I can put this out in doing, and then Maha can pick it up and put it
Yeah.
in, and that counts as the
Okay.
transfer.
Yeah, Maha should be
So-
able to move that into.
Right. Because Maha, so that would give Maha a 2, and Lisa, you have a 2 also?
I do.
Okay.
So there,
Okay.
that's my turn. So
Oh,
I
you
think
need to
Maha,
wait.
you would drag it down to your deck.
The
Yep.
bottom
Yeah.
white space.
There we go.
you go. Perfect.
Oh, there's a
Right.
chance, guys. There's a chance.
Yep. So I think that was Ed's turn.
Yep.
Let's see. What can I do here? I can discover a new feature, research business value, gather feedback.
Feedback.
What is
Can you do-
feedback?
feedback?
I mean, like
you
we
do
haven't done that yet.
feedback yet.
Yeah, let's do
Let's
that.
do a little bit of that. All right. This says all skip features receive +5 to a business value. We don't have any skip.
We do
feature
have one in the-
there. Yeah, we've got
in-
that one here. Do we think that feedback can be applied here? I think so. Like
think
I'm
so,
reading
yeah.
this as like I'm going out and doing and like talking to customers, and like I realized what I thought was only going to be providing $10 of value to us is now going to provide 5 to us. I think that makes sense. And then let's do some more feedback. This says the Zap project was abandoned. All its integration loses all value. Did we have any Zap?
Ooh,
things?
Oh,
ouch.
no.
I didn't see anything with Zap on it, so I think we're okay for now.
So that would that mean that like any zaps that come through that we would have to take them out like immediately? Like we would just go automatically to the next thing in queue?
Here's how I would interpret that. If a Zap feature comes up, I need to make sure to deprioritize it since it doesn't have any value.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So it can still be in the backlog, but it doesn't have any value.
Mm-hmm.
It's
For now. Okay.
integration, yeah.
Okay.
I read
think that's
that
my turn.
as, I read that as if we've already done it, there's no value, we'd have to get rid of our value cards.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense too. Well, let's see if we can get through day 5 and wrap up our sprint. And then
Okay.
looking at the time, we're getting close to the end of our time box. So we can do a little debrief here too. So Maha, you're up.
Yeah. So now I have 2 work card in my
Yeah,
pocket.
play it.
Yeah.
Can I offer another option, which is you've got 2 actions total, which means playing a work card will count as 1, and you won't be able to get another work card without drawing one. So if you draw a work card first, there's a chance you're going to get a card that's more than a 2, and you could play that. So you could draw a work card first and then figure out what's there.
Okay.
Last work
Wow.
card.
Double this last work card you played.
Yeah, you'll have to put that in your
Yeah, that one has to go into your hand.
then.
Okay.
down
Can
at the
I
bottom.
apply? Now,
The productive day card can only be played as your second action, and so you can save that one for a future turn.
okay. Can I
So-
use my 2 work card?
I think that's probably your best bet at this point. So we'll move this one over to in progress. We'll apply the 2 towards the 5.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
And Maha's
I'm
good.
gonna flip a work card and hope it's a 3.
And not an impediment.
Man,
Oh.
that's the same one as Maha. And I don't have, the only other cards I have in my hand are the 2 continuous integration cards. So
Okay. So I will go, I got a 1. And so if I put this in my bucket and pull our 2 up, or, because if okay, then we get more points that way.
Yep.
All right. And I think I'm done then, right?
Yeah. Then Ed's up.
Okay. Does anybody have extra work that they need to transfer to somebody else?
I have a 1 I could transfer to somebody.
So let's do that. I think because I think some people have the double the work card, so we'd want to transfer it to that. So I think
Both
I
Maha
have
and Marissa had that card.
right. And I have 2 continuous integration cards and 1 productive card.
Either one, yeah, equally.
so. Yeah, just put your work card out somewhere on the board.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I guess Maha can pick it up.
You know, couldn't, just a question on this. We've got 4 points towards that 5. Couldn't somebody play one of those automated test cards as well? To get us to 5?
The automated test cards only go towards bugs.
Oh, shoot, that's right, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so, and there are no impediments, so I think the only other thing I could do is draw a work card at this point. Unless there's any other transferring work
Well,
card. I don't think so,
Since I put that card up there, wouldn't we be at 5 now?
You cannot
Or
put it, because I
doing?
just transferred it to you, so you have to wait until your next turn
Oh, okay.
to play it.
Okay,
And then it'll be a 2-part one because, well, in this case, we wouldn't have to do that, but you could do your 2-part and then lay your double the work.
okay. So who did
Card
I
after
transfer
that.
my 1 card, my 1 to?
We did it
Maha,
Maha.
right? 'Cause
Yeah.
she's,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
All right, so I'm done with my turn. I drew a 1 work card that I will transfer, I guess, at the next, or donate, I should say, at my next turn.
Cool. I am going to, we don't have, this is our last day of the sprint. Let's figure out what other feature we have. We get another card from Skip. And then I'm going to discover the business value on that. Ooh, a hole in one. That one seems real important. All right, so that is the end of my turn. And so then we are at the end of our sprint. For sprint review, I was reviewing this here in between my last turn, and I think we may have messed up with how we did the feedback, but that's okay. It says the sprint review happens at the end of the sprint. Depending on the outcome of the sprint, some feedback cards may be given face down to the product owner. These cards represent that some feedback is available but still unknown. During the next sprint, the product owner may spend an action to reveal a feedback card. So I didn't have any feedback. I shouldn't have been able to reveal any feedback until next sprint. So,
That
and
makes
then
sense.
the number of feedback cards we get is equal to the number of delivered features, which is 3, minus the number of unfinished features, which is 1. So I would have gotten 2 feedback cards, and then I could have used future actions to flip over these 2 cards that I got. But as we sit at the end of the sprint, we got $120 dollars worth of feedback delivered this sprint. So I'll give us those points.
And then do we subtract the ones that weren't delivered, does it say?
I don't think we do anything with that. It's I'm not sure there's much of like a penalty there for not finishing them. So
You're just getting, you're getting the feedback on the completed stuff.
That's the penalty is I didn't get as much feedback as we should have gotten. If we had finished that item, we would have gotten 4 feedback cards. If we never committed to that one and we finished everything, I would have gotten these 3 feedback cards. So,
and is an idea there is that, we talk to teams that you don't want to show unfinished work. So when it's finished, you can go show it off to the stakeholders and get their feedback. Right.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Cool. So we're running out of time. So I'd love just a couple minute debrief. What was everyone's thoughts and reactions? This is my first time like playing through this game. I've read the instructions many times to feel like I got a handle on it, but this is like the first live game that I've done. What do you all think?
It was clever to come up with a card game, but as long as you're going to computerize it, this seems like kind of a brain dead way to implement it.
Yeah.
Say, how many points?
In my mind, like I would have rather gone with a physical one, right? I like having an electronic version for a remote group like this.
Sure.
But I think
now that you've got a
something...
computer, it might as well keep track of the scores and not let you
Right.
do illegal moves and things like that.
Right. Yeah. Like implement some of the rules would have been good, but but like I would prefer the tactile nature of having like cards in my hand and being able to move them around and all that kind of thing too.
And I think this is something sending out the directions beforehand, like to my team, because
that's a good call.
They're really oriented on rules and regulations. So they would want to know before we started the game, because there is kind of a lot to remember and know. So if they could, review it beforehand, I think that would help them.
Yeah. I know we're going to lose some people here at 9 o'clock. Marissa, do you want to do a plug for December?
Yeah, I just popped it in the chat too. So we do have somebody lined up for December. I cannot think of her last name. Her name is Terry. And she is going to run a virtualized version of the red bead experiment from Deming. So that's should be a pretty cool activity. If folks want to check it out, I'll have the event published for that soon. So yeah, hope to see y'all there.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great month.
Fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Happy
Good job,
Thanksgiving.
Thanks
Chris.
all. Yep.
Thanks,
Take
everyone.
care.
Bye.
All right, thanks, Chris, for recording and all that stuff.
You bet. We'll see y'all in December.
See ya.